Neil, this is quite a bit of constitutional slop. It looks like to me. What does it look like to you?
Yeah, exactly, Lawrence. I mean, there's two buckets of the executive orders. One, the part that you're calling the fake executive orders, and then the others. Most of them are fake. They do nothing. It's like the Pretty in Pink song, Wouldn't It Be Good? It's just like a bunch of dreams. Wouldn't it be nice to do X or Y? So evictions, wouldn't it be nice if the agencies considered something to do? That's all Trump said. He didn't ask them to actually do anything. The payroll tax. He doesn't even eliminate that. He just delays it. Everyone who owes it is still going to owe it. They're just going to owe it next year. And even that, it's not even legally clear that he can do it because he's relying on a statute, as your lead up to this said, that requires a federal disaster declaration. And that's really about something geographically limited, not this. And then you have the parts that Senator Sasse calls unconstitutional slop. So the unemployment benefit, the $400 or $600 or perhaps $2, which I suspect it'll be in the end, that is a policy disaster. It's not nearly the $600 that should be required, that has been being paid to people in the midst of this total catastrophe. And it's a legal catastrophe, too, because probably the most elemental thing our Constitution says is that Congress makes the law. Congress budgets things. And we don't have a system in which the president can just dole out money to whomever he wants. And that's why you have Senator Sasse saying what you have. It's why even Larry Kudlow, who's the White House's Trump's National Economic Council director, said that it, quote, requires an act of Congress. None of this does. The last part, the one thing he did that does have a legal basis, Lawrence, is the student loans. There he said that student loan interest is going to be forgiven through the end of 2020. And that he does have the power to do, and that is something that he did exercise. But even there, that law that he's using is the law passed in 1993 because Bill Clinton went to the Congress and said, pass this, give the president this power to defer student loans. And Joe Biden was one of the senators casting the decisive vote. Al Gore actually cast the decisive vote, but Biden was part of that team. So even there, we got Biden to thank, nothing to thank Trump for.
And Neil, on the $400 benefit, which would only be $400 if the state joined and contributed the 100. That sounds to me like 50 state legislatures have to vote on the state delivering the $100 to then match the Trump $300. I mean, it sounds likely that not a single state will do this and not a single person will receive this $400 a week.
That's exactly right. So when I said $2, I think I was probably being generous to the president here. This is truly a fake executive order. It's not going to do anything. And it's certainly not going to do what you would expect the president to do in the midst of a disaster, which is work with Congress, re-extend the $600 at a minimum that should be paid while Americans are suffering at this time. But certainly, that's a policy point. You have me here for the law, and the law doesn't allow presidents to act in this way. The job is for Congress to do, and the president is interfering with Congress's ability to do that.
Neil, what about standing? Where do you see if someone wanted to bring a lawsuit to stop one of these provisions, who has the standing to do that on the different provisions?
Well, certainly the states could. I think Congress could. Perhaps even individuals who are promised something by this executive order might try. I think there's a variety of folks that can challenge this. But I think that's also sad, Lawrence, in the end. And the president's advisors have said that, like, oh, let's have the Democrats sue. It'll make us look good. That's not the way good governance works. You don't do silly stuff and lead on the American people with the hopes of scoring a political point, particularly in the midst of a pandemic. I think the American people deserve more than that. I think that's what Congress is trying to do in authorizing these benefits, which the president has blocked. And so it's time to, act like a grown-up and protect our people. This isn't hard.